evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's please Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you will find the exact frequencies we transmit on and receive, and also the background history on our club. Also on that front page you will find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for this net. For this net only, 103.5 for the 147.08, known as the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Signed in by video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, K9PQ, Bob, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else wishing to sign in to the net? None. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening, everyone. KD7QKU. Well, as you know by now, Richard had his lung transplant, and I got a picture from Debbie, which I forwarded to everybody. Jim, Che, I forwarded it to you. I sent it in a text. I don't know if you saw it or not. You didn't see it. I know James did because he responded. You didn't respond, so I don't know where it went. I sent it to the phone number I have, and it didn't reject it. So maybe Bob later can show the picture so everybody can see it. Bob and Lee and Dave, they were asking for his address at the hospital or where they're living so they could send him a card or something. So I sent Debbie some texts. She's using Richard's phone, and I don't know, she hasn't answered me. When she sent me the picture, it's a picture of him in bed with, he's given thumbs up and he looks good, his color's good. And she said that they were going to get him up and have him sit in a chair this evening. So it's amazing how fast they get you up. So anyway, haven't been doing a whole bunch else. So over here they have the Salt Park run to the well, not the sound, but down to Ruston and around the park down there. So I don't know, it's 7 miles or 10 miles or 12 miles. Some people do a long way, some people just go a short way. So, and they go down Narrows Drive, which is west of me, and then they come back on the street that's right out here next to our property. We're on the corner. It's called Defiance. So everybody comes around that corner and then heads back up to the park. They had all the streets blocked off today, and when the people pay their money, of course, they get a T-shirt and they get a number. Those that are serious runners. I don't know. I would guess there was 5 or 6, maybe even 10,000 people. I don't know. There was a mass of people, and they started arriving. I think the thing opened at 7. I think they started running like at 7. And when I opened the curtains this morning, I got up about 6:30, I think. There was already people streaming up the street, and they had, the streets all blocked off and everything. Everybody had to move their cars and stuff. So I couldn't go anyplace until they got through running. They said that was going to be 10:30, but it was probably closer till 11. And then I drove over to the Ham Club and was going to visit with those guys, but that wasn't good either because they were having classes today for people that want to get their ham license. So they were taking up all the space, and so there wasn't hardly any place to sit down or do anything. So I hung around there and visited for a few minutes and then came home. So they didn't have lunch today or anything. I thought I'd probably get lunch over there, but they didn't have lunch. Anyway, so home I came. So that's it. So back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Bob, G9PQ in Bothell.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks everybody for switching over to JITC. It's great to see you all there. Unfortunately, that is working great, even though we're just trying it out for the first time really for our net. But coincidentally, the Grand Stream unit at the repeater, which is where I send our signal and how it gets to the repeater, is not working right. It's on. I can log into it and I can enter information on the page, but when I hit save, nothing happens. So there seems to be something wrong. I don't know exactly what it is. I reached out to Rob, and he's oftentimes really quick to reply, but he hasn't replied yet. So hopefully before the net is out, we'll get this going, but as of right now, I'm afraid we're just going to have to be looking at each other on Jitsi and talking here. So I will send it back, K9PQ.
PQ, thank you, and the net acknowledges Wade. W7ITL is signed on. What say you, Wade?
Maybe on the next round I'll repeat you guys through the repeater with Maya set up, but I just got home, been out all day, went out shooting with my brother-in-law, and got to shoot some pretty cool guns. One of them was a 50 cal. That was pretty amazing. I shot it 3 times. That is a life-changing gun. It makes you it's got so much kick. But honestly, the 30-30 actually felt like it had more kick than the 50 cal. We shot some ballistic targets, and that was pretty fun watching those explode. I actually hit one on the first try. I've never shot a big gun before. So besides that, just got back from, we went to McDonald's, picked up a few cones. So enjoying the weather here. I guess there was a really big run that was earlier today, and it was the whole park over by Ron's house was just full of the porta potties. Looks like there must have been 1,000 people there or something. Let's see, I didn't get a chance to go to the radio club because I got up around 6, and then we left at 8 went up towards Puyallup, up there in the mountain, the hills up there, and took about an hour to get out there this morning. When we got there, the place was pretty packed. We actually almost went to the end of the road. It's an old logging road in Wilkinson. So yeah, it was fun. I'll probably do that again. All right, well, I'll turn it back to Ned. This is Whiskey 7 India Tango Lima, and the next round I'll try to get you guys in on the repeater.
ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Let's see here. Okay. Well, Ron, yeah, the phone number you have for me is a valid number. However, that's my landline, so it does voice only. And it does not typically let you know that that the text message you received, which you sent, has not been received. My cell phone doesn't seem to work reliably here at the house. It never has. when I got it, the map showed 3 houses on my street, one of which is mine, did not have proper coverage. 5 houses on the next street, and the following street was just completely blank. I think it's the same ridge line which prevented me from getting a television signal into the television repeater at the schoolhouse. But, oh well. My phone worked in every country I've ever been. It just doesn't work reliably at my house. And yeah, now that I'm retired, it's time to replace it, but it's not quite at the top of my priority list for now. What the heck? Oh, I don't even have it with me. Left it in the house turned off thinking about it. It's an iPhone 7, so it's about time to replace it. I hate replacing these cell phones every decade or so. It's like, man, all this dollars, they add up, you know. So anyway, as an alternative, Ron, you could maybe email the picture to me. I would appreciate that if you could. If you can't, well, that's okay. Just glad to hear that Dick is okay. He's looking good anyway, and probably in good spirits now that maybe he can breathe again. We'll see. They may still have him on oxygen, but hopefully it won't be very long, and then he'll be in good shape, as long as his body doesn't reject the new parts. So, and I'm sure they give him some drugs to compensate for that. Better living through chemistry, at least for a little while. Oh, Ron, a runner's by your house. Sorry, dude. Being close to a park has pluses and minuses, and I guess that's one of the minuses, so, oh well. Yeah, Bob, Grand Stream, yeah, I see the inside of the repeater. I actually saw it, Jim, just before you came on, and then it went away, and then it came back on, so I don't know, maybe something got reset. Oh, well, now I see me on the 1.2 downlink. Okay. And it's my usual mediocre picture, but at least I can tell it's me. I can show some obscene gestures, and that way I'm sure that it's me. But no, I won't do that. Just kidding, people. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that if anyone has any information, more details about Dick, we would all appreciate hearing that. And in fact, Ron, Lee may have called you because he was looking for information about an address, and he called me. I did not have that information, so I said, well, try Ron. So we would all appreciate that. But once again, my phone does not do texting. So anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue.
James, WW7N, Northeast Bellevue. Well, thank you, Wade. I'm just getting an absolute superb 1.2 gigahertz picture tonight, rock solid. Occasionally a little flicker in there once in a while. I'm a little washed out just because of my own lighting, I think, here, but that's probably at my end. Well, Ron, sounds like you had a big running event there in your neighborhood. That definitely means summer is here, I think, and hope all went well. Sorry you didn't get lunch today, but we can never have too many new hams. So if there's a parking problem at the new ham exam, then that's probably a good thing, really. So that's also really good news. And Wade, I do want to hear more about the shooting exciting adventure. That does sound pretty cool. And yes, 30-30s typically are like those little lever action rifles and such, and they're designed to be carried all day and shot once. I inherited one from a grandfather that I think got shot maybe 2 times this season, once to see if it still was sighted in, and the other time to get a deer somewhere in Orange County. That's back when there were deer in Orange County. And I would imagine if a tag was needed, that was something he probably never heard of. But anyway, so I inherited that and I shot it, and it's a early 19, I checked the serial number. It was manufactured sometime back in the late 40s, early 50s, according to the serial number, and it's kind of a cool thing, but boy, it does bite you in the arm when you shoot it. The fact that it's a lever action with that kind of an action, I am surprised about how accurate it is. Of course, he was probably shooting a deer through brush that was so close you could probably, hit him over the head with a stock, and that would have done the same thing. But out to 100 yards, it still shoots a reasonable group, given that it is a lever action of the 1950s. The most exciting news, of course, is Richard. I got that picture. He looks like he was doing well with a thumbs up there. Wish him all the best. I think he'll be doing great. Somehow I just feel that's the way it's going to happen. Another friend of mine has a brand new shiny hip, and she's also doing great. Says she's, walk around, doesn't even need me to assist in feeding her cat or anything. So that's also good news. And beautiful day today. I went out and took a walk in it, and also did a lot of administrative stuff around the house here too. But I don't want to let this good weather get away from me. Lots of house projects to be done. So that's it from Northeast Bellevue. My name is James, WW7N, with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Let's turn it back to our net control. Dave, take it away.
7N, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's see. I think I'm going to have a life-changing experience now. I went out to mow my lawn today, and I got halfway through it, and the mower decided to die. So I thought I could finish it off with my weed whacker, and it's an electric model, and the battery died on that. So I think what I'm going to do now is invest in a lawn service. At my age, I think that's the only way to go. Let somebody else tread through the property and mow down the grass. I don't water the lawn, so it doesn't grow that much, so it just kind of gets mowed about once every 3 weeks in the summertime. That's about it. So that's what I'm doing, changing to a lawn service, I guess, starting next week, as soon as I can make arrangements to get that done. So that's about what I've got to say here in wonderful Lake City. And say it's 70 degrees out and starting to get a little cloudy overcast weather-wise. That's about it. And so far, the new video seems to be working very well on the computer at my place. So good to see everybody's faces up and moving around. So this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's move up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, thanks again, Dave. Well, Jim, I just tried to send you an email. Sometimes it doesn't work on my phone, so I don't know if you'll get it or not. If you don't, I can't help it, I guess. So let's see. It was 82 degrees in the front yard today, according to my thermometer, and the sending unit is about 4 feet off the ground, and it's hanging in the shade. And that run that was in the neighborhood only happens once a year, so. And it's not a big deal. It's kind of entertaining, really, because there's lots of little kids, lots of people. Some walk, some run. They have different groups going at different times. So there was a few people carrying flags, which was kind of interesting. They didn't do that the last time, but they did this time. So, and of course, last year some people dressed up in costumes. So I only remember seeing 2 little girls that had tutus on that were running, but most people were just in their shorts. So anyways, it is kind of a fun deal. So I don't have a whole lot more. I went over to the Ham Club, but they were doing testing or classes for testing it, so they were pretty busy and there wasn't much of a place to stay, so they weren't serving lunch, so I didn't stick around too long. I came home. So that's about it. Maybe I'll think of something else pretty soon. All right, back to NAC, KD7QKU.
7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey guys, well, yeah, everything's coming through YouTube just fine. It's frozen at the moment, but that's on my end. I'm sure it's no problem. I'm sure it's going through. Yeah, as far as the shooting, I'm interested to hear more as well, Wade. I have never shot a 50 cal. Probably the biggest kick I can remember from anything I've shot. One was a bolt action 30-06, a 44 mag revolver, and a shotgun shooting slugs. So that was it was what I forgot how they designate the sizes of shotguns, but it was the bigger of the shotguns. And those were all pretty fun, but man, especially with the first two, you know, one or two shots was enough with the 30-06 and the 44 mag. I had no idea what to expect with that revolver, and I probably was not holding it tight enough, and it slammed the web between my thumb and forefinger pretty well. I still remember that. But I'm interested in what kind of 50 cal you were shooting and how that worked. Let's see, what do I have to report around here? Not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, I've been enjoying the sunshine and the warmer weather. It almost is too warm for me, but not quite, so I'm okay. I haven't gone out swimming in a lake or anything yet. If it gets much warmer, I might give that a shot. You know, just trying to get everything going tonight has kind of been my excitement for the day, and I'm really glad that everything's going well with Jitsi, and thanks to Wade for getting us actually out on the air through our repeater. Still nothing still not working at the Grand Stream at the repeater site, and I've not heard back from Rob. So usually Rob is on these things pretty quickly, but maybe he's tied up with something else right now. Okay, I will send it back to Dave, K9PQ.
K9PQ, let's go to Wade in Tacoma, W7ITL.
Whiskey 7, India Tango Lima, Wade here in Tacoma. Let's see if I can get myself on camera. I don't know if it'll let me. There we go. Alright, yeah, it looks really good on my end. I can see the colors pretty good. So yeah, the gun, the 50 cal that I shot was an AR-50, I think designation A. It's like the BMG. They're pretty much identical. This one was made in Arizona. Weighs about 40 pounds without the box. It's about 60 pounds with the carrying case. We had it mounted on the hood because it has a tripod built into the end of the gun. Otherwise, unless you weight lift it, you're not going to be holding that on your shoulder. Yeah, that was probably the biggest kick other than the 30, and we also shot a bunch of shotguns, I think 10-gauge shotguns. And that one actually made my shoulder pretty sore, the 10-gauge. We had a big magazine clip, the spiral one that does like 20 shots, buckshot. We had it loaded with buckshot. In addition to shooting ballistic targets, one of the guys shot, I think it was with either a 357 or a 45, they shot a watermelon, and then it exploded. Just blew up, it just vaporized it. We only had one watermelon. They're getting actually pretty expensive. I think next time I'll bring out the watermelons, because my family just got a farm, so we'll bring out some big ones next time and shoot those next time. I think also next time I'm going to go out there a little bit early, because we had to go about 5 or 6 miles into the trail just to find a place to shoot, because all the good spots are all taken. Let's see, that's about it for the shooting expedition. Yeah, we shot 357s, 45s, 22s, 9 millimeters, 50 cal, and then the 30-30. So we had about, I think about 300 or 400 rounds we went through in like 3 hours. So that's pretty fun. Definitely do that again. I've never done that before. That's it. I'm gonna say 73 for this next round. If somebody could just let me know, and I'll keep changing the video because I gotta jump over to another net for about 5 minutes, and then I'll be back.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington Land.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dave, you said you were having problems doing yard work. I was going to suggest that you shouldn't worry because we have plenty of good weather days coming up. However, getting a yard service, that works too. And in fact, that works better. I think it's tremendous incentive once your equipment begins to malfunction. Several $100s for a replacement piece of equipment here and there. That'll pay for a few months of yard service. So probably a good call on that one. And that way it always gets done too, rain or shine or whatever. It seems the people around here in my neighborhood who have yard service, the people show up all the time. And I'm thinking, why are they cutting the grass in the rain? But they're doing it because someone's paying them. So I guess that's incentive. Ron, I can't check my email now. I tried, and this computer is a little bit task saturated. So the video, and my wife has even reported problems when on Zoom. She can't have several windows open there at the same time. I'll check it after the net. But thank you for that. And Wade, you're probably not listening to us, but sounds like you had a good time. Hope your shoulder doesn't bother you too badly tomorrow, but sounds like fun. Hope you get to do it again sometime. Certainly something that I have not done often enough since I moved to Seattle. Maybe sometime soon. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
QO in an IP time here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, I'm looking for kangaroos in the background. I didn't see any, but let's go to James, WW7N.
I noticed Jitsi gives you more options than Zoom for background pictures. I was looking for one with kangaroos or from Australia or something like that. But I'm just in playing with it. I didn't even implement it, and I could see my computer was feeling the strain. So I think I should just leave everything alone. But I do like this product. This is nice, especially for a freebie. This is really amazing how well it's working. If we want to continue to use it, that's great. I'm wondering, though, when you have all these freebie-type things around, I wonder how Zoom is doing, because I think Zoom's publicly traded. I'll have to look at that tonight. Another one that everyone's wondering, is it going to continue to go up, is a NVIDIA that makes the chips for that they think AI will be using. Just to add more fun to the world situation, I think most of those are made in Taiwan now. So we'll have to see what happens. We certainly live in an interesting world today. I was going to say something, but he's talking probably on the double nickel net over there. Well, I'm glad to hear everything seems to be going well today, and be interesting to find out why you can't switch, Bob. What's going on up there? But I guess I will go ahead and turn it back to our net control at 30 minutes past the hour. This is James, WW7N. Go ahead, Dave.
WW7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. And for Jim, I don't know, I've got a iPhone 8, but I can get on my router when I'm at home, and I can get phone calls and messages that way. I don't know if your phone ties up to your internet or not, instead of going over the air. But it works fine on my phone. It just automatically goes over when I come home, and then it shows up that I'm hooked up to the internet, and then I'm live at home with my phone. And then when I'm out of the house, I can use radio waves to get the service. And then if my router goes out, my phone shows that I'm hooked up to the network for radio waves for receiving. So anyway, that's what works for me. So maybe there might be something to explore on your end. But this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So I'm going to turn it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
This is Ron, KD7QKU. So if everybody gets out their pencil, I just got a text message, but it's kind of a strange text message. I can't seem to forward it to anybody else. So it's Richard, and his last name is Ohls, O-H-L-S, O-H-L-S, and the address is 1630 East Georgia Avenue, number 105, Phoenix, Arizona, 85016. So it's 1630 East Georgia Avenue, number 105, Phoenix, Arizona, 85016. So anyway, I tried to send it to you, Bob, and this came out as a picture on a map and didn't have his name. So I don't know. It's kind of strange how I got it. But anyway, I got it. Thank you. So, all right. So I guess back to net for now.
Hey, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, Ron, I wish you had read my chat message on here. I got it directly from Debbie, and I've already sent out an email to everybody, and I added the picture as well. So now everyone should have the picture and his address. But thanks anyway. I appreciate you making sure that got out. Yeah, it's kind of funny with the Grand Stream. I was able to log in. I can enter information. Well, first of all, when I logged in, all of our information, all of our saved information that is normally always there, was gone. The whole thing was blank. Although it still allowed me to log in, which is interesting. So it didn't lose everything, apparently. It kept my login credentials. But all of that is gone, and I'm able to type in. I tried typing in my IP and username and all of that kind of stuff, so that I could, then switch to myself. When I hit the save button, normally it puts up an acknowledgement, and it didn't. So it just seems that something is very wrong. I just don't know what it is, and there's no way I can try to troubleshoot it on the fly. I don't know that I can troubleshoot it at all, but that's why I'm sort of hoping to hear back from Rob. But I just thought I'd give you a little more information on what's going on with that. Thanks again, Wade, for getting this out over the air. And I didn't have time to get a text message to you to indicate when we switched over, but it looks like you're back with us now. So with that, I will send it back to Dave, K9PQ.
Let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
WW7ATS here in Tacoma. Not a lot for this round for me. Just nice seeing everybody. I did want to say I do sure miss seeing Richard. I'm glad he's recovering okay, and so I definitely want to hear more about how he's doing later as he gets time to recover. So yeah, wishing you a speed recovery, Richard, if you can hear us. Otherwise, we'll see you when you get back. All right. Well, this is W7ITL back to net.
7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to N7QO, Jim in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, thanks, Ron and Bob, for the info. Like I said, I will check my email after the net here. My computer's a little task saturated. My company got rid of these things, 2 different models of the Surface computer, and they ultimately replaced it with the iPad, but they sold these at a fire sale, so that's how I wound up with this. But the price was right, so I got it. I do have something for show and tell. I'm not sure how many of you saw this last net, but I was trying to show that shrinkflation is a real thing. Well, okay, check this out. So this is something which I bought in December of 2018, and this says 20% more. Okay, giant can, right? Well, now this is one which I bought just last month, May of 2024, and it says 50% more. Okay, it gets worse. Let's do a side-by-side comparison here. So, is the 50% more than 20% more? I mean, you know, come on, guys. Shrinkflation is real. It's I keep looking for these soft drink cans that only have 10 ounces of liquid in them. I really don't want to buy them, but it's like you gotta laugh at some of this stuff. This is just incredible. Anyway, I thought y'all might be amused by that, so that's my show and tell for the night. Shrinkflation is real. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
And get an ID in here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, NET, on the 08 machine. I'm KD7ZYM. Let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Thank you, Dave. These headphones have broken before, and I just used super glue, and it worked amazingly well. Lasted quite a while. This time, though, what I did is I'm trying to see if I piled up baking soda and then dripped the super glue on the baking soda to see if that would increase the strength of the bond on the broken plastic. So I'm going to let them sit overnight and then see if when I put them on my head, if they just snap, break again. But I've heard of using baking soda, and I've heard of using ground graphite. I don't know if there's other things you can use with super glue. That's supposed to be very, very strong, so we'll see on this. I will say, though, that if you ever do this, you want to make sure your super glue is brand new and slightly warm, because when you pile up the baking soda on the area that you want to put the joint on, it needs to be very thin and runny to run down into the baking soda and to form the joint. Mine kind of blobbed because it was cold out of the refrigerator, and also it's getting a little old, and so it made little blobs on there, and it didn't run smoothly into the baking soda like I wanted it to. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you on headphone repair. We'll see how much, if they last as long this time, but I'm quite pleased. It looks really awful, but if you were really worried about cosmetics, I suppose you could just paint it, or maybe even paint it with a Marks-a-Lot or a Sharpie or something like that. Anyway, that's what I have here tonight for show and tell. Not nearly as exciting as Jim's 50% more. That is funny. I guess, somebody in a foreign country once said you can't insult an American's intelligence. They don't have any. So, I mean, if this stuff of marking a can 50% more, that clearly is quite a bit less, man, and we all buy it, then maybe that comment is true. I'm not sure. But the other thing, I think I have this $12 watch here, and it had got some moisture in it. It's by no means waterproof. It's not even splash-proof. Got some moisture in it. I cleaned it all out, but I may have dinged the hands because I noticed one hand was caught on another. So I might have to do some advanced watch repair before the next net. I actually depend on this amazingly, just looking at it throughout the day. So that's it here, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
7N. Oh, I like your idea of repairing headphones, but my suggestion was you just put the super glue around the edge of the earphone that goes up to your ear, then attach that to your head, and you'll never have to worry about it breaking off again. Your earphones will be permanently installed. Oh well, so much for Engineering 101, or I guess that even goes to Engineering 99. But anyway, always something new to see how things will stretch out and get super sticky. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I haven't got anything else to add, so I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Thanks, Dave, KD7QKU. Well, Jim, when you look at those cans of Comet, just think that one, the small one that said 50% more, just think if they hadn't added the 50%, how small it would be. It would be tiny. Oh, and just, I don't know, you guys probably already know this, but whenever you're shooting guns, if you don't have ear protection, you want to make sure you stand behind the barrel, and you want to keep your mouth open so you equalize the pressure on the inside and the outside of your eardrums. So anyway, if you stand behind the barrel and the end of the barrel and open your mouth, your ears will ring, but maybe not quite as bad. So I don't have a whole lot either. I'm going to go see what the cat was yelling about, and I think Joanne was going to go for a walk, so she maybe needs some food, and then I'll be right back. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Hey, well, let's see, a few things. I thought of you the other day when I was buying peanut M&Ms, which I have a weakness for. And I noticed, not for the first time, that they always have some very unusual net weight. Like something ounces instead of 8 ounces, because in my opinion, if it was 8 ounces and then it became 7 ounces, you'd notice. But if it was 8.73 ounces and next time it's 8.37 ounces, who's going to know? So I'm absolutely convinced that's why they do it. Let's see, what else? Super glue. I've seen a YouTube video, something very similar to what you're talking about, but now as I think about it, I think it was wood glue and sawdust as a way to sort of fill in if you've got a gouge or something like that you want to fill in. wood glue and sawdust is a nice trick. And I also looked up the quote because I knew H.L. Mencken was credited with the joke about no one ever went broke underestimating the intelligence of the American people, and he said something similar to that. That's sort of simplified, and the simplified version is the one that has stuck around. So, yeah, nobody ever went broke underestimating the intelligence of the American people, or in one case, the taste of the American people, which I think is even more fitting. I think we're about as intelligent as everyone else, but we don't have quite the taste, maybe, as other nations, which I think is not a terrible thing. You know, I think some of them have too much taste for me, for my sake. Let's see. I thought I had one other thing too, but I can't think of it at the moment. So I guess I'll send it back. Okay. Hang on. I know I had one other thing. Give me a second. Well, it's not in my notes. So, ear protection. Yes, ear protection. And standing behind the barrel, I think, it's excellent advice. You should stand behind the barrel, not in front of it. So, with that bit of smart aleckness, I will send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
I don't have a lot to add to that, other than I will confirm that everybody that was shooting today was wearing proper ear protection, and we all stood behind the barrel of the gun. You never want to be in front of a barrel when the range is hot. You just can't predict what's going to happen with that projectile. So that's about it. Other than definitely the shrink inflation is a thing. Yeah, I think a lot of products in the grocery store are much smaller than they used to be. I don't know about soda. Yeah, I didn't know about the soda thing where it's 10 ounces. Does it still say 12 ounces on the can? That's a question for the group. That's pretty much it for me, though. I appreciate being able to check in, and we'll see maybe on the next round, or if not, this is 73 W7ITL.
W7ITL, let's go to Jim in 7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. My 1.2 gigahertz signal just went away. Yeah, it might come back. Oh well, I will stand by. Yeah, Jim, I saw someone was showing a video on YouTube about baking soda and super glue. I did not click on that, so I don't know what that was all about, if that's going to strengthen the bond or what. But I would have to modify my methods. Thank you for mentioning that. I use a gel type of super glue, and it comes out, I find it fills in like gaps, little spaces. If you're trying to put two items together, it does a better job, I think, of bonding things together. So I don't know, maybe I should watch that video one of these days and see what they have to say. Right, well, Ron is not there right now. I was going to ask about Lily. You said she was yelling. I was curious if she's okay. She had some problems. They took her to the vet, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, anyway. All of us are getting old. Even our pets are getting old. It's, I don't know. Here comes Ron. Ron, I think we're all curious. You said Lily was yelling. Is she okay? She had some problems not too long ago, and we were just curious what's going on there. back to net and 7QO.
Lily was just fine. She wanted Joanne, I think. I don't know what she wanted. She has a thing to scratch on, and when she likes to scratch on it, she likes to have you comb her. So you run a comb down her back, and she purrs, and she loves it. She's doing quite well, by the way, surprisingly. She's sort of back to normal, but yeah. So I don't know, she came in here 3 times crying, and Joanne was out on the patio. Finally, I went out and told Joanne she had to come in and pay attention to her, so Joanne went in to comb her, so maybe she'll be happy now. So thank you. Back to that. KD7QKU.
7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Timing. I just got texted by Rob, and he said it might have gotten reset or something. He said it can be kind of fragile because there's not a lot of processing power, so I'm going to, in a few minutes after the net, try resetting it again from my end and see if that fixes it. So that's about it from here. I think I will say my 73s and send it back, K9PQ.
Let's go to Wade, W7ATS.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty much out of things to say. Definitely good conversations tonight. Let's see, I'm glad that Lily Kitty is doing okay, Ron. I did know that she was having issues, but it's good to know that she is okay. Let's see, in the repeater, let me know, Bob, if you need any help doing testing. I can probably hang out afterwards if needed. But that is pretty much it for me. I will turn it back to net. I think we have about 8 minutes left. I don't know if anybody else wants to check in, but we can keep on going, and I can keep the video switching going. So I'll turn it back to Dave, our net control. This is Whiskey 7, India Tango Lima.
ITL, thanks for that. Let's go on to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. I still have more yard work to do. Funny talking about yard work. I did yard work yesterday. Did not get a chance to do any today. There was one of our neighbors had a picnic here, and we had a whole bunch of people show up for that. It was a potluck, but they provided the meats. You had your choice of chicken, steak, or hot dogs, and you had to grill your own steaks, but otherwise all kinds of goodies, and a whole bunch of people haven't seen for a long time. That was a lot of fun. Had a couple people come in from out of town. A couple people came in from various places around us. I saw one of my neighbors. I hadn't seen him for a couple years, and I guess I didn't recall how many years it was. It turns out 10 years ago they moved to Tucson, and I didn't know 10 years ago. Man. So anyway, it was good to see them. They say they really love it down there. Compared to where Dick is, Tucson is about 3,000 feet. They say they are about 3,000 feet higher in elevation than Phoenix. So Dick gets all the hot weather until he comes back to Seattle with us. But Tucson is more temperate. And I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. 10 years. Dude, I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we moved 10 years ago. Okay. Just whacked me. Anyway, that's what I was doing pretty much all day today, and now this. But so that was enjoyable. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, let's go to Northeast Bellevue to James, WU7N.
WW7ATS Northeast Bellevue. Well, Dave, thank you for the pointer on the using your Wi-Fi system on your phone. I think mine's an 8.2. I'm not sure what my phone is. I'd have to look here. But I just was playing with the settings here, and it says Wi-Fi calling on this phone. And AT&T required me to put in an emergency 911 address, since they have no idea where my Wi-Fi is. So I guess if I'm ever using this Wi-Fi phone, out in the middle of nowhere, they're going to send the ambulance to, my address here in Bellevue. So that's good to know that you got that kind of gotcha there. And then a new thing appeared after I put in my, verified my physical address, which is where I'm sitting right now. There's now another option. It says update emergency address. So I guess if you're at your grandma's house for a week, you could update it that way. What I don't know on mine is, if I've got Wi-Fi sitting right here, does it choose Wi-Fi over cellular, even if cellular is available, or does it choose cellular first, and then if cellular is not available, then it jumps to Wi-Fi? And what happens if you're in a Wi-Fi call and you just start walking away from your house? Does it automatically hand off to cellular, or does it just dump the call, and then you have to call again if the cellular network is up? Many questions here. I will no doubt have lots of fun playing with this. Thank you for the toy, Dave. Anyway, this is James, WU7N. Looks like you got 4 minutes left. And really good news about Richard. Certainly, that was just great. Thank you for everyone who sent that picture out and made the effort. I appreciate everybody telling everybody else. I'm going to say my 73s and turn it back to our net control, Dave, KD7ZYM.
U7N. Well, my understanding on cell phones and routers, if you have a cell phone and you've got it hooked up to your Wi-Fi, it will take it as the primary source of communications, and then if that fails, it goes over to the wireless network. But that's interesting. Well, one thing I was listening to you talking about weapons and shooting, and I was remembering it several years ago. I was listening in on Cross-State Network on 2 meters, and there was a group talking. They were having a machine gun shoot in eastern Washington, and it was $1 a round to shoot a machine gun, and it was at some club they had over in eastern Washington as a fundraiser. I would imagine the rounds probably cost more than $1 a piece now. So anyway, it'd have to cost more. So with that, I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
7QKU. Yeah, ammunition is rather expensive, that's for sure. Even if you load your own, it's expensive. So, Darren, I had a thought, and I was going to write it down, and then I got involved listening, and I didn't write anything down, so I forget what I was going to say, but I had something I was going to say the next time it was my turn. So, I guess I'm speechless, so I guess just turn it back. And, yeah, this new Jitsi or whatever it's called works pretty good. So, no problem. All right, thanks, Bob, for getting this all set up. 87QKU, back to net.
QKU. Well, let's go to our internet master, Bob, K9PQ, for communications and video links.
Actually, more of a master of using your phone over your modem, and it's not as easy as using data or using Jitsi or anything that already goes through the internet, which they call IP, the Internet Protocol. So you've heard of VoIP. I think Wade mentioned it earlier on a previous net. That is using your phone over the internet. VoIP is voice over IP. And I actually tried to do that with my phone, and wasn't able to. AT&T wouldn't let me because I could only do it if I got my phone from them. So it's not an automatic thing. It will depend on what kind of phone you have, who you got it from, what your provider allows. Maybe things have loosened up. I tried it a few years ago, so maybe things have loosened up since then. But it's not as automatic as like on my phone. Whenever I'm at home on my Wi-Fi, it automatically does all of my internet traffic over the Wi-Fi and my internet connection, my home internet connection, rather than using up my data on my plan. So there you go. Sorry, I went a little past, but I wanted to explain that. Back to net, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. And it's time to button up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. And we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7ATS repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, signing the net off. Good evening all.